Hey, what's up, YouTubers? It's me, Johnny, again, coming at you from Xela, Guatemala. Tonight, I want to talk to you about a video I watched. It's about leaving the Matrix, and I thought it was pretty cool. You know, from the minute we're born, at least in North America, we're put in public schools. We're taught how to think. We're taught what to do, how basically to be dependent on the system. And most of us never really break out of that. We go to public schools, we go to college, we get indebted to debts we can't pay in college. We graduate with degrees that are pretty, not worthless, but degrees that are not marketable anyways, at least some of us. And then for the rest of our lives, we're indebted to college debt, and then after that, we get married, and then we're indebted to a mortgage. So we never really break out of the system or the matrix, as I call it. And then we never, work to achieve our dreams, or at least most of us don't. And we're stuck in the system because we're so deeply in debt and can't leave. Anyhow, lately there's been a lot of pushback, there's been a lot of talk about how the world's coming to an end and how we're going to a cashless society, which is a possibility, and then how much power the government has and how much power they have to ruin us, to follow us. And it's true, the government, through all these various software programs and satellites, can spy on us, spy on our banking, shut down our bank accounts anytime they want, fine us, imprison us for anything they want, and not really have to prove anything in court. And anyways, that's what I want to talk about. Like, if you want to leave the matrix, it's never been easier, at least in my opinion. You can get a second residency pretty cheap. You can bank in a corporate account that's pretty easy to set up, so if you do it right, no one knows what you have, really. Unless you're on the FBI's most wanted list or a terrorist list, it's going to be pretty hard for the government to figure out what you're being up to if that's your goal in life. If you want to fly under the radar, it's really never been easier. Yes, it's true we're going into a depression, or probably, I think so. It's also true the economy's slowing down, and probably there's going to be lots of unemployment in the next few years, and I bet a dollar crisis, and we'll probably see a rising gold price. Not that those things are good necessarily, but no matter what we do, we have to deal with the world we live in, not the world we want. And I just want to point out, it's never really been easier to leave the U.S. if that's what you want. It's never been easier to start a business. It's never been easier to start an online business, as a matter of fact. And if you leave the U.S., starting a brick and mortar business can be not only fairly easy, but fairly cheap. And even with, recently the price of oil has come down, so we don't even have the high price of airline tickets anymore. I was just checking, I can get a flight out of LA to Southeast Asia for $650. So even with the prospect of peak oil, we still can get cheap flights, at least for now. And the world economy is decentralizing. What I'm trying to get at is the governments of the world can't control taxes like they used to. They can't shut down tax havens like they used to. They've come to the end of the rope. The rules and regulations are becoming more and more benign. They can't really enforce them. We've seen that with what's going on in the immigration crisis in Europe, and we're starting to see that in North America. In the past 4 years, I don't think we've had any major legislation get enacted by Congress or the president. Nothing major, and I don't think we ever will. We basically have a divided country, and with a divided country, I think we have gridlock. With gridlock, we have more freedom and we have more liberty than we've ever had the prospects of having. So I just wanted to put that out there. It's never been easier to break free if you want to. But because of how we're indoctrinated as children, I admit it's pretty hard to get the confidence you need, the skills you need, but it's never been easier to learn these things. And with the decentralization of the world economy, it's never really been easier to earn income online. It's never been easier to learn the skills you need. It's never been easier for anyone, no matter where they are in the world, to use the software and the programs out there. And speaking of that, I think it's a good idea to learn to break away from the system, because the traditional 9-to-5 job is going the way of the dodo bird. At my last job, even the engineers and the accountants are getting outsourced, not by robots, but by software. Some of them were, before that, being outsourced by cheap labor from Latin America, but even that's starting to go by the wayside. People are moving jobs from China to Vietnam, so pretty soon it's just going to be robots and software programs doing most of the hard labor of the world. So if you're a thinking man or woman, it's time to learn the skills of an entrepreneur. It's time to diversify your capital and yourself offshore if that's what you want. And it's never been easier to do that. And I just want to leave you that thought and tell me what you think about the Matrix and how hard or how easy it is and how it was for you. Anyways, thanks for listening. Like, share, subscribe.